this Arsenal season, especially with whatever is going on. But at least Saka is back. I mean, it's very, very hard for Arsenal fans to really get excited about anything, especially with the Premier League gone, FA Cup is gone, Carabao Cup is gone, and the Champions League doesn't look like our best chance. But with Saka coming back, could our season really change? On Sunday, we had Gabriel Martinelli return, and this was reported by James McNicholas from The Athletic, confirming that Bukayo Saka is also coming back to training this month and is expected to start his duties again for the season come next month. Arsenal have a couple of very, very important games coming up in April, and that will be either Real Madrid away and at home or Atletico Madrid home and away. It will depend on who goes through the tie between Atletico and Real Madrid. But Saka coming back could actually change the tide. It could actually change the way Arsenal go into these games in terms of confidence, but also in terms of ambition. I kind of feel like the Manchester United game showed us everything we needed to know. Arsenal and the Arsenal fans, including Mikel Arteta, have already given up on the title race. And when Mikel Arteta was asked about the title, he actually said, I don't want to talk about it right now. It looks like it's gone. So if the title is gone, if the Premier League is gone, and Saka is coming back, could Arsenal use him to go and make a statement in the UEFA Champions League? Now, I want to say this. Arsenal are not at the level of Real Madrid, and I'm not trying to delude myself in thinking Saka comes back equals Arsenal winning the Champions League, but this could actually change everything. Now, Saka coming back this month obviously means that he doesn't have a lot of football to play. He's just going to be training and maybe coming back into shape. As James McNicholas says, Arsenal only have 2 games remaining this match, and that is PSV at home, a game that is really pointless. You wouldn't play a player like Saka even if he was ready. Arsenal have already beaten PSV 7-1 in Eindhoven, and it would take a miracle for them to come at the Emirates Stadium and win by a margin of 6-0 and take that game to extra time, or even win that game. So it's over. Arsenal, all we have to do is to stay honest, maybe win against PSV at home to keep our respect and our record in the Champions League. We've won our last 5 games in the UEFA Champions League, and I think we could continue that run by beating PSV at home. So if Arsenal can't, if we have PSV coming up and it's already a finished game, our last game of this month is going to be Chelsea. Now, over the weekend, the narrative was Arsenal have to fight for top 4 rather than fight for the title. We're about 13 to 16 points behind Liverpool, and I don't think the title race is really still on. But when you think about the gap between Arsenal and Nottingham Forest and Arsenal and Manchester City, that is a little bit worrying. Arsenal are about 4 points ahead of Nottingham Forest, but we are around 8 points or 9 points in front of Manchester City. Now, it would take a miracle still for Manchester City to overtake us. Arsenal would need to lose game after game after game, but that is very much possible. We have seen Arsenal win none of our last 3 games. We have only scored 1 in the Premier League in the last 3 games, in games that were needed to be won for us to chase Liverpool down. And that is the difference. Liverpool have won all their last 3 games and Arsenal haven't. But that is not even why we're here. We're here to see if Arsenal can really get something out of this Bukayo Saka comeback. Can we get our season changed? Could we propel our season into a different direction with Saka coming back? So with Gabriel Martinelli coming back over the weekend, we saw Mikel Arteta have options. He took off Ethan Nwaneri and he brought on Gabriel Martinelli, and you could see a bit of a change. I was really, really happy with the way Gabriel Martinelli added pace to the attack. And although Ethan Nwaneri is not a bad player, on the evening, it wasn't working out. It was a very, very hard day in office for him. And as a young lad who's just 17, I didn't want to be too harsh on him. I saw a couple of people on Twitter really throw harsh comments on Ethan Nwaneri. And I was like, this is frustration from the fan base because we are disappointed. I don't think that we are really angry at Ethan Nwaneri. So Martinelli coming back gives Arsenal a different option on the right and also a different option on the left-hand side. But Saka has been missed a little bit more than Gabriel Martinelli, a little bit more than Odegaard, who has missed a little bit more than any other player that actually picked up any any injuries at Arsenal this season or the season before. In the first season, when we competed for the title against Manchester City, William Saliba's injury was seen as catastrophic, and we all said if Saliba maybe didn't pick up injuries, maybe Arsenal win the league. And our response to that season was Arsenal going out in the market to look at Lisandro Martinez and also look at Gillen Timber. Eventually, we signed Gillen Timber from Ajax. But this season, you can't say that Saka has been the catastrophic miss. But when you look at where we were last campaign at 69 points and where we are this campaign at 55 points, it looks like there is a big drop-off, and maybe Saka is part of that. So, could Saka really help us change our season, especially on the UEFA Champions League front? Now, obviously, if he's coming back, his first game would be Real Madrid or Atletico Madrid, and that would be the important game that Saka has to play in. I would actually suggest that we don't play him in the Premier League at all. Maybe just a few minutes for match confidence and match fitness, but I would want him to really focus on these two games, Atletico Madrid or Real Madrid. At this point, it really doesn't matter who goes through. What we have seen against Manchester United, Arsenal cannot be trusted. Even if we celebrated that Atletico Madrid have beaten Real Madrid and therefore we shall be playing Atletico, I don't think Arsenal can really fill you with confidence that we've got the quality to beat a team as good and well drilled and well coached as Diego Simeone's Atletico Madrid. And even if we played Real Madrid, a team that doesn't employ a mid block and a team that doesn't employ a low block, I think there would be questions asked. Can Arsenal really go up against the machinery of Ancelotti's Real Madrid and survive? So when it comes to Real Madrid or Atletico Madrid, it is a chance. But Saka really improves our chances when he is in the team. And the first thing he's going to give us in that game would be attacking quality tripled. Now, why I'm saying that our attacking quality would be tripled is this. After the Manchester United game, Paul Mason, one of the people that I really like, said this. The Arsenal front three today, that was Ethan Nwaneri, Mikel Merino, and Leandro Trossard, wouldn't start at Fulham. And although I was very angry, I decided to take a look at what Fulham would actually put up as their attacking front three. And I looked at Raul Jimenez. He's a much better striker than Mikel Merino. There's no question about that. I looked at Iwobi. He has actually been really, really in form. And then I was like, this is true. Arsenal's attacking three wouldn't really start for Fulham. Maybe Leandro Trossard might get in there, but if we are to be honest and serious, Fulham don't need any of our attacking three if it's Trossard, Nwaneri, and Mikel Merino. So that means that Arsenal getting Bukayo Saka back, that would actually triple our quality in front of goal. With all due respect to Ethan Nwaneri, he has carried us on his back in some games, but Saka has done it longer. Saka is one of the players that I've seen at a very young age, very honest player, carrying a team at 20 years, 21 years, 22 years, and he's not getting tired. The only thing that stopped Saka and stopped him ever was that injury that he picked up. With slight knocks, with big wounds on his leg, he's still going. So I think with Real Madrid coming up, or Atletico Madrid coming up, Arsenal really need to triple our attacking, thrust. And I think with Saka, that is going to be done. I think he's a player that can create a lot of chances without relying on Martin Odegaard. I think he's going to bring back the connection between him, Odegaard, and Ben White, or possibly Gillen Timber. And most importantly, I think when it comes to Saka, he is a one-man team. He can go out there and do things all in his own, change a game and impact a game all in his own. The way we have seen Bruno Fernandes do it for Manchester United, or the way we have seen players like Kevin De Bruyne do it for Manchester City. You always need that player that is so good they trust themselves, kind of a Musiala at Bayern Munich. And I think that is Saka for us. He is that one player that doesn't really care if the team is really going through a bad time. He's going to show up and he's going to show up strong. The other thing that Saka will give us if we go through to play Madrid, it's going to be the cutting edge. Now, Arsenal need to understand this. You don't really have to have a lot of possession to win games. A clear example is Ancelotti's Real Madrid. In games that they can dominate, they'll have possession. But in games that they can't, they will not have possession, and that will not stop them. And the reason for that is when you have the likes of Kylian Mbappe, Vinicius Jr., and Rodrigo, you're actually good to go. I mean, you can dominate games with that midfield of Tchouaméni, Camavinga, Modric, and Kroos, and the others if they are available, Valverde and Bellingham. But if you don't have them, if you don't have the quality to dominate, then you can do the other way. And I think one thing we have seen, one team that has done that very well this season has been Barcelona under Hansi Flick. They really dominate football, they really dominate possession, but there are games where they have scored 5 and they didn't even have a lot of ball possession and they still really looked good. With like Lamine Yamal, Dani Olmo, giving them those options of runners, they can create deadly counterattacks. What Arsenal don't have is that cutting edge. We don't have, even if it's a counter, the moment we run and we reach the penalty area, we freeze and Odegaard is going to bring the ball back, or Rice is going to pull the ball back, or Trossard, or Gabriel Martinelli. I think what Saka is, and this is very evident in the Liverpool goal that he scored in that 2-2 draw. Ben White plays the ball over the top for Saka, and Saka just keeps on going and running at Robertson, and then he cuts back and shoots. That is what we are lacking. A direct player that can really give us that cutting edge that we don't have at the moment. We have a lot of possession and we do a lot of good things on the ball, but when it comes to finishing in the final third, we are as bad as Ipswich, we are as bad as maybe Southampton, and you can even compare it to Leicester City if it is not too harsh. The other thing that Arsenal will get if Saka is free and fit for the Madrid game is a reason to keep Madrid defenders honest. Now, Mikel Merino has done well, maybe. I mean, depends on your analysis of him. But I don't think that any of our front three players are really going to keep Rudiger, Alaba, or any of the Madrid defenders really honest. And you don't want that. The reason as to why you don't want that is Madrid are already a very good attacking team without their fullbacks joining in. So imagine if you're playing Real Madrid and both of their fullbacks are joining the attack and their centre backs are pushing towards the centre line. That would be disastrous. So what you want a player like Saka to do, you want him to make sure that all the centre backs, at least one or two of them, and the fullbacks, one or two of them, really stay busy and honest and focused on him. And I think with Real Madrid, we know how good they are with their wings. If you can stop their fullbacks, they will still attack you with Mbappe, with Rodrigo, and with Vinicius, but without the fullbacks joining in, it could be a disjointed attack. So I think that is one thing that Arsenal will get. Most importantly, you need a game player, a big game player on such an evening. Saka is one of them. Now, when I did the Manchester United preview, someone commented in the comment box below, and he said, Kosi, thank you for this thumbnail. We have Odegaard, our reliable captain, who always shows up on big games. And although I really remember games where Odegaard has actually showed up, but Odegaard is not that much of a big player. Actually, I think he's a big game player sometimes, and he is not a big game player on the others. I think he hides at times. I think he shows up sometimes. Against Manchester United, I wouldn't really say he disappeared or he hid, but his impact was really low. Why I said that Saka is a big game player is this. When you play Madrid, he will score. When you play Bayern, he will score. When you play Liverpool, he will score or he will create an assist. And I think in such games, you need big game players. For example, for Madrid, they've got a couple of players that are really good. But when we point out one good big game player, that could be Rodrigo. I mean, he turns up on the biggest of occasions. Jude Bellingham could be the other as well. And although Vinicius and Mbappe are really heavy talents and they can decimate you on any day, you've got to keep your eyes on Rodrigo when it comes to rising to the big occasion. And lastly, could our season really change with Saka coming back? Now, I don't want to say that Arsenal's fortunes are going to change drastically and dramatically because one player, shirt number 7, is coming back. But listen to this. If Arsenal could beat Real Madrid, which is difficult and far-fetched, and could also beat Liverpool in the semi-finals, or maybe PSG, depending on who's going to go through, which is also difficult and far-fetched, we would be in the finals of the Champions League since 2016. It would be the first time Arsenal made it that far since 2006. Not 16, 6. And for us to do that, Saka will be crucial. Very, very crucial. I kind of feel like Arsenal have one job. Don't lose another Champions League game. Give everything you have in the Champions League for the fans to have a reason to believe. I still believe in Arsenal. I still believe in the team. And if we have anything that's going to kind of give us a positive this campaign, Saka is going to be very crucial. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel as well.